All right. I think I'm 2 minutes late. Welcome. Let me set up here. How's everyone doing? There we go. Sorry, I just got out of the shower. It's been a crazy day. Vitamin E got back in stock. Posted the podcast. Really cool episode. I was actually listening to that while I was eating my steak with Dr. Scott Scher. He's just amazing wealth of knowledge. And yeah, we have different views on sugar. He always laughs at my sugar stuff. I'm doing good. Thanks, Mike. I'll get to the questions, by the way, after this little intro. I actually scheduled a 2-hour massage today and forgot that I had this, so I rescheduled it for next week. But yeah, I think I finally found a good therapist. It's funny, I was actually going to a massage school, and it was very light, so I didn't really feel really a huge effect from it. But being on my phone a lot, I mean, I try to answer, you guys see me get railed by people for not, you never answer your DMs and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I mean, I can't keep up. But, looking down at my phone, my neck, all the typing on the computer. So my neck's pretty thrashed. And, I always have people telling me, functional patterns, do the course, and I'm only going to do it if someone flies out here and teaches me in person. But there's a lot of biomechanics fanatics out there. If you guys have ever heard of that, it's a whole rabbit hole. It's like I don't have time really to look into it. So the easy thing that anyone could do, you don't need to watch a 10-hour course or take classes. You just go get a freaking massage, and you get a deep tissue massage. And that's, 90 minutes, 120 minutes. By the way, I'm making coffee. This is my second brew. I always get asked about this. So this is called the DeLonghi La Specialista. Make sure you guys don't see my address because enough weird people have my address. And this is the tamper. So that grinds it, if you guys have never seen one of these. And then this tamps it down, basically flattens. I had to learn all this stuff myself. I've never seen it done. It goes like that. I know it's fancy. You hit OK. And these are all beans that I roasted myself. And there's a little water reservoir back there. I actually ran that through the AquaCure. And then basically, yeah, to end this, hit OK, and then it comes out. Something like that. But yeah, I've been going kind of wild with my water. I've been messing with something called infopathy, which is like advanced homeopathy. It's pretty cool. These little devices here, which basically puts frequency in the water. And it's cool is that the AquaCure does that. You can set it to whatever you want. I have this set to 528, but using this little deal, this is it's like $150. But basically you hook this up to your phone. There's a website, there's a membership deal, and then you could basically beam in whatever you want. Like I've been putting in pregnenolone, different things. Pretty cool. My vitamin E is back as of like an hour ago, Lauren. So check that out. Yeah, it just came back in stock today. Okay, it's enough coffee training. Let's get to the questions here. Jamie, how are you, Jamie? What dog cat food would you recommend? I'm currently feeding my pets Blue Buffalo. Oh, that's a harsh brand. My Australian Shepherd, 10 years old, is having major joint issues. Any supplements I should be giving him? Gelatin. I would do this one. Dietary. They have really good gelatin. I think they have 2 different types. Doesn't matter which type. This is more for making gummies. Yeah, I would definitely give your dog gelatin. And as far as brands, Stella and Chewy's is good for dogs. For cats, I like this stuff. I and Love and You. I ordered it, just basically have an auto ship on Amazon. And, the stuff's, less of a poison though than most brands. And there's PUFA in this and in dry food that she eats, which is this. These are pretty much her only two foods, and then whatever mouse or bird she catches. But I mean, this stuff's poison too, but she sleeps on magnets, and there's the ingredient. Where is it? There's an ingredient list. And you'll notice on there is basically a fish oil, which is not very cool. But, vitamin E balances it out. Trying to see if my chickens were out there. No. Check out this shirt, by the way. Bloomy Transcriptions. They're funny. Funny crew over there. Yeah, so I Am Loving You, or Stella and Chewy's, and then the best supplements to give your dog. I can't give Shilajit to Lyra. She's like a princess. She, very picky. When I was trying to deworm her, I was putting on this stuff, diatomaceous earth, and she wasn't having it. She knew, and she just would rather starve. So I was forced to use Royal Rife frequencies on her, and it worked. She doesn't have any more worms, which is awesome. And it only took a few days too. Someone's coming up the driveway. I don't know if I should grab my sniper rifle. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I mean, for pets, it's like Shilajit. It's all the same stuff, because all the poison's the same, right? So it's Shilajit, vitamin E, gelatin. That's it. If you want us to add other stuff, pour some beef liver, some desiccated oyster. I could probably do that for Lyra, probably help her out. Have fun, but you don't have to make it complicated. I like making stuff complicated for myself because it's anti-aging, it's fun, but for your pet, you don't have to go too crazy. Okay, I might have to, one sec. Thank you. You too. All right. Sorry, that guy just likes seeing me, delivery driver. Okay, let's see. What is your recommended way of reheating food? Oven, microwave, stovetop? Yeah, I mean, there's mixed things on the microwave. By the way, maple syrup. I like Aunt Patty's brand maple syrup. There's probably other good ones, but a lot of them are garbage. So, Ray Pete, it's funny. I don't agree with him on everything, but I think he has something, with the microwave. He doesn't recommend microwave food, but he basically says it's not as damaging as you'll hear in the alternative health community. I'll agree. I mean, it definitely, it does something energetically to the food, but is it going to kill you? Probably not. But if you can avoid it, like I never use a microwave, just do stovetop. And, you can get a convection oven, which I have over there, and that's where I cook my potatoes. Let's see. Is it possible to use my pristine shower head filtration water as drinking water if I run it through my Berkey? Yeah, you could do that. Is it okay to brush teeth in the shower with pristine? Yeah, that's what I used to do, for sure. What I would do is fill up reverse osmosis water at your health food store, and then keep like a water crock. They make really small ones, like a half gallon or something, by your bathroom sink, and then just use that for your toothbrush and stuff. But isn't it crazy? Like, we have to even think about this stuff. Like, that's my friend that was just visiting, Matthew. We were joking about this because there's people in the health community that have cash and they just go and buy eco chick car, Tesla, Ferrari, Lambo, whatever. And it's like, dude, I got a tractor. I got water. It's like, that's why I bought this house in North Idaho, is just to have water. That's my number one priority in life. Clean water. And I feel rich because I have clean water, drinking and bathing. It's like priorities, right? I don't need a Lambo. I don't need a Tesla. I need water. And I think people need to set that straight in their head. Like, this is huge. And it's something to work towards. You know, homesteading is awesome, but do you have water? You know, it makes your blood. It's so important. And now when I visit, you know, it's not like a holier than thou thing. It took me like 11 years to get here. But now when I go to San Diego to visit my family and friends, I shower in that hard water, even with the shower filter, and my hair feels bad. It's just like sticky, and my skin feels like rough and like dry and itchy. It's just weird. Ideally, we would all be showering in reverse osmosis quality water. And I'm developing a shower filter right now. It's not very complicated. It's actually very basic, but there's nothing like it on the market right now. And the basic idea is to have a lot of volume of media, because it's not really about the types of media that are in the shower filter. It goes through there so fast that it needs time to react. And with a lot of these filters, like a little dinky $30 rain shower or whatever you buy at your health food store, that's not doing much, because it's just it's the size of your fist, and it's just zoop, it goes right. Is it better than nothing? Yes, of course, but anything's better than nothing, right? It's like, have some type of freaking barrier between you and that toxic liquid. Even $30, right? I mean, this is, to me, more important than any supplements, more important than nutrition, everything. It's like, cannot heal if you're bathing in tap water. Anyway, a little rant there. On my way to take the dog to the vet. Have you ever used shungite as an EMF protection? What are your thoughts on it? Yeah, I mean, I don't think... My friend Shonda likes it. Where's my blue shield here? There it is. So this is my old... I gotta take a shot. Cheers. Wow, that's good. Blue Shield Mobile. This is actually the way to go with EMF protection. And you ideally get this plus a plug-in. And then you're set. I think it's like $500-600, something like that, maybe a little less with my discount. But this stuff works. This is my friend Brandon Amalani. He's the US distributor. This technology was discovered in New Zealand, and they brought it over to the States. And I was super skeptical at first. I think I have a podcast on it, so I'd give the whole story there. But it's a big deal. This is like bringing an umbrella out when it's raining. It's like, you can go out without an umbrella and you'll get wet, but it's raining acids, right? And so with EMFs, it's raining, you know, that EMF rain, you know, analogy, it opens up your cells, the voltage-gated calcium channels in your cells, and not only calcium floods in, but iron floods in. That's not well known, and that is called stress. And when that happens in your noggin, when that happens in your ovaries, and your testes, and your heart, and your liver, and your lung, and your pancreas, your kidneys, blah, 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 everything, it just stress the whole body. And that's why I felt like I was falling apart a few trips ago in San Diego. I was like disintegrating. I was losing it. I was literally losing my stuff because I was in this field and I was like, wow, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling 5G for the first time, and this is not fun, right? So ideally, I mean, the protection you need is Blue Shield plus the No Choice jacket and pants, and then he has like crazy stuff. I just ordered a cape from him, which I'm at the point now where I want to freak people out in public because I'm freaked out by them. So let's play their freaking game. So I'm gonna go out superhero style, wearing an EMF blocking cape. I'm gonna look as freaking weird as I can. Look forward to videos, because I'm gonna do it with an Israeli gas mask. That's my plan. Israeli gas mask and the cape. Because, you know, screw it. It's Halloween all the time now, right? Convid. It's all a joke. Okay, anyway. Let's see. So yeah, shungite, you know, like lodestone, to answer your question briefly, yes, it has some effect. Would I use that as my primary thing? No. But you know, if you want to hold a lodestone, like my friend Matthew actually gifted me this little, where is it? This little thing, little lodestone. It's a magnetic rock to hold with me while I drive. And you want to talk about actually using crystals, which I was into for years, for a physiological benefit. This is actually trickle charging my body while I'm holding on to it. It's actually transferring magnetism to my body and increasing my energy and my resilience to electromagnetic stress, EMR. So just wash my espresso shots here, or else it gets caked. Okay, let's see what else we got. For some reason it keeps bumping the questions all the way down, so I just need to catch up here. Dealing with, no, there we go. Would systemic enzymes help with bone spurs? Anything else for a bone spur healing protocol? I would use vitamin K27, K, and Sheila, basically the usual suspects. Oh, check it out. Names for him. You'll need some coffee. Okay, there we go. Chickens follow me around. It's pretty funny. Dealing with chronic gum infections, gum disease. Been using the oregano products, vitamin E, vitamin K, whole food C. What else can help clear the infection? You know, if you want to pull out the big guns, I would use, okay, now you guys have my full attention. I just like to keep things clean here. I would use the Sota magnetic pulsar. Got my lid from the fire. The Sota magnetic pulsar is amazing for any kind of dental infection. And that will just blast away whatever you have going. But it sounds like you're on it. You might want to look into Crucial 4 pearl powder and try that out. Let's see. Robert says, I have a 16-year-old cat with chronic kidney disease. What treatment would you recommend and what dosages? So yeah, again, same as my protocol I gave earlier for the dog. You're looking at gelatin, vitamin E, and Shilajit if possible. And you know, it doesn't have to be my Shilajit product, like Shilajit powder. However you can get it in, right? For dogs, I've seen dogs love the tablets, so that's possible. Actually didn't take mine today. I need to get charged up here. I take 5 at a time of this. Panacea. Vitamin E would be especially helpful. Cats get hit harder with lipofuscin for whatever reason. So vitamin E for cats is essential. All right, why can't I see? There we go. This mobile thing is weird. Wait, let me try changing the settings. Live chat. Okay, I think I might have fixed it. Here we go. Let's see. Wondering when your whole house water filter will be available. Soon. I think within the next month, I'm going to start talking about it. And it will be around 10, 11K, somewhere in that range. Let's see. Sorry, I keep losing the chat. This sucks. I just have to catch up. I have to do speed round to get to the bottom. What do you think of Merlite clay crystal rocks, also known as Tesla rocks for EMF? I haven't heard of those. Yeah, I'm not sure. Problem with returning cold sore each month on the lips and cracking corners of the lips, usually same time as period. What can be the issue? Yeah, I mean, that's herpes. So pretty much everyone has it. You know, even if you don't go partying. So lysine, the amino acid L-lysine, you could try. Just take some around that time. If I ever get cold sores, that helps. And what's interesting, L-lysine and L-citrulline are on a seesaw with each other. So if you supplement citrulline, then your risk for developing cold sores actually goes through the roof. And yeah, citrulline is a precursor to nitric oxide, which is interesting because, you know, everyone thinks it's good, but it can cause it, you know, increased NO could cause issues like that. Do you recommend another brand of vitamin E? Okay, I already answered that. It's back. What do you suggest for someone who has metal plates in their sternum after it was broken from a car accident? You know, same as anyone else. I would really emphasize red light therapy every day for a person like that on their torso. If we are depleted, how do we know the animals we consume aren't depleted as well? Lauren, that is the trillion-dollar question. And the answer is we don't, unless you have your own animals. That's why I have 2 goats here. I have 4 hens and a rooster and 1 wild hen. And I have my own eggs and my own milk, make my own cheese. I know the water that's going into them, which is the most important thing to me. I know the food they're getting, non-GMO grain, whatever it is. So yeah, good question. But organ meats, oysters, you know, beef liver, these are ways to ensure that we are not eating depleted animals. And also, you know, the Pacific Northwest, we're pretty fortunate up here. That's another big reason why I moved up here is the meat is off the hook. Grass-fed, grass-finished beef. You have a steak up in Idaho, it's way different. It's way different. It's so much better. Any thoughts on animals storing NPK fertilizer versus plants being able to detox it? Someone touched that subject in one of your podcasts. Yeah, so animals have a way to transmute minerals. Like, for example, a lot of goat farmers will give their goat copper, like copper shavings. And that's actually how it comes. It's forget the form of copper. I think it's like copper oxide, literally. And it's just little, basically little cylinders of metal copper in a pill. And you're supposed to shove it down the goat's throat, and then they're forced to swallow the pill whole, and then those little metal shavings get stuck in their intestinal tract, and there's a slow release of copper. There's probably better ways to do it. I give my goats Shilajit, and I've tried various methods, giving them tablets. I've mixed this powder into water and sprayed their hay with it. I think there's a lot more advanced ways to do things with animals. That's why I got into homesteading. And I'm just, you know, I'm a child, obviously. I don't know much about it. But even when it comes to slaughter, there's advanced methods, more humane methods. And that's what the vegans and vegetarians don't get. It's like we're primitive with our animal husbandry right now. We can make it very advanced to where it pretty much is like vegan, vegetarian. It's like zero pain, zero suffering. So the animals would have a better life than they would in the wild even. You know, pristine water, they're not going to get that. They're going to get acid rain in the wild. I guess some people would disagree with that, but let's see. Should you leave pearl powder on the teeth? I leave it on the teeth, yep. Can you take 3 scoops 3 times a day? Yeah, that's what I do, basically. I've been recommending a pro-metabolic diet for my clients, but several have gained weight. When will their weight balance out? Sandy asked. It really depends on the individual. It could take time, 6 months to 12 months, you know, up to a year. I tend to recommend, because I get a lot of questions about acne breakouts, like on the vitamin E and the CLF protocol. They say my skin's never been worse. And like I went through that at my previous home in Idlewild in SoCal. When I was getting into this stuff, what I talk about today, I had crazy breakout. And I'm like, whoa. And then I thought about my childhood, and it's like, you know, greasy pizzas. I went to this place called Giant Pizza King in Point Loma, San Diego. over and over with all my friends in school. And I would go to like Cotijas, like this Mexican place. And I go to various other, Filiberto's, Roberto's, whatever, all the names of the Bertos. I went to all the Bertos like every week. And it's like they're not cooking that in coconut oil, obviously. And so I was just, canola, sunflower, safflower. I'd go to Baja Fresh. It's like all these little chain things. Even once or twice a week, just add it up, like years and years and years and years and years. And there's no vitamin E in that. So you're getting a huge bolus of PUFA and no vitamin E to counter it. And then I always get like these people like, Matt, it's unnatural. Like you just get vitamin E from rice bran oil, from food, whole food sources. It's like, guys, it's not enough. We didn't get vitamin E for our entire life. So you think just trying to get it from rice bran oil and eggs and whatever, you need to concentrate. And the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the breakout of acne when you take vitamin E. That's true detoxification. It's not this Anthony Williams medical medium BS with celery juice. Because you could suppress your symptoms all day long and your skin gets better when you take fish oil, right? And then stop the fish oil and then have fun, right? Whereas with vitamin E, you stop it and your skin doesn't get worse right away because your vitamin E, it's just like PUFAs, it's stored in your tissues. And vitamin E is not only preventative against stress, but it prevents photo damage from ultraviolet light. It stops the domino effect of stress. So the more PUFAs you have, the harder it is to get out of that stress, fight or flight. The more vitamin E you have, and not to say the more the better, but if you have sufficient vitamin E in your tissues and you're eating saturated fats if you want to displace it, then you'll be able to get out of that stress response. You don't get stuck and keep thinking about what someone did, right? You could kind of move on with your life. Let's see. Where are we? When I made the magnesium, the bottle caved in during fridge process, but next morning, undissolved powder. And when I shook it again in the morning, it was not clear anymore. Does this mean I did it wrong? No. Yeah, usually people add too much to the, so Mike's talking about making magnesium bicarbonate. And whether you're using the Crucial 4 powder or bulk supplements or Pristine Hydro, whatever it is, if you add too much, which most people do because they just think, more the better. No, there's a maximum saturation of bicarbonate ions in the water. And once you reach that, no more powder will dissolve. And so, yeah, like you said at the end of your message, Mike, you should not shake it again in the morning. Just pour off the top in a shot glass and shoot it down. That's all you have to do. But there will most likely always be powder left at the bottom. And the way you know it's done is it will be flat, so you won't taste that carbonation, basically. Dissolve it all upsets my stomach when I take it. Any advice to mitigate that? Try a different brand. That's what I usually say for all my products. And if that doesn't do it, then it's a detox reaction from whatever the supplement is. Yeah, it's not necessary. It depends what you're doing the dissolve it all for. I think you could heal without it is what I'm saying. It depends, Brenda, if it's for anti-aging or whatever. Would you share the name of the Rife machine you recommend? Yeah, this thing's called the Resonant Light, and it absolutely works. So, I guess I can give a quick demo here. I haven't really showed it. So you turn it on, and basically I have the biggest unit. So you can get just one controller. I got 3, which is just a faster, it cuts the time by 1/3, basically. And so, yeah, you basically just set whatever you want. There's a bunch of programs on here. They have contact accessories, they have gloves, that you can wear and get beamed directly to whatever tissue you want. So this is usually the one I do because it dewormed Lyra, and you could loop it, but basically I just turn it on and there it goes. So it shoots 30 feet, and this is using radio frequency, or RF. This was discovered by Royal Rife. It's real technology. It works. It uses resonance to shatter pathogens. If it's cancer, if it's mold, if it's a virus, COVID, whatever it is, if it's a fungus, if it's a bacteria, if it's a parasite, it kills them. It works. So yeah, this is basically just a plasma tube, and you just sit next to it and get a treatment. I've been messing with technology like this for years. This is the real deal. This definitely works. I'd mostly use it for killing, though. I think that's where it shines. There's other technologies if you want to, charge up or do other things. Let's see. I'm 19, and and the last thing on that, if you mention my name, it should give you a discount, I believe. Or I just get commission, I forget, but mention my name anyway. You might be able to do something. Hey Matt, I'm 19. I've already cured my acne using your protocols. I want to become an acne consultant and start a business around it, helping other young people. I need to know A to Z exactly what causes acne and skin issues down to the T and become an expert on it. Can you name any and all books, resources that I can study that would allow me to become an expert on acne, skin issues specifically? Okay, that is amazing. That is really cool. Unfortunately, I can't because I don't think it exists. I would look at my podcast, Mitolife Radio, and listen to the episodes that I did with Morley Robbins, and pay special attention to retinol. I had very severe acne growing up, like very, very severe, and my entire childhood, and eczema. And what medication do they prescribe for acne? It's Accutane. What is Accutane? It's 13-cis retinoic acid, synthetic form. Okay, and that's vitamin A, right? Retinol. It's like, just eat freaking liver, right? You got acne, you're vitamin A deficient, okay? And you're copper deficient. That's basically all you need to know, right? And of course, there's vitamin E. Of course, there's, scar tissue, there's calcification, there's all these factors, right? The tissue's dying. But when we get down to it, the most simple explanation, we could just say A deficient, E deficient, copper deficient. Done. Acne gone. And most people just try to make it complex, and they're doing green juice and celery juice and enemas and this and that and salads and raw food diet and sprouted nuts and seeds and all this stuff. All the stuff I tried. And all it is a retinol deficiency and an E deficiency and a copper deficiency. Severe. Why are those deficient? Because you're iron poisoned, right? Because iron drains your copper. Why do you have iron overload? Because you're copper deficient. Why are you deficient in vitamin A? Well, your body uses retinol to load ceruloplasmin, to load 8 copper atoms into ceruloplasmin. That's the active form of copper that your liver makes. And retinol is used to put copper into ceruloplasmin. You need ceruloplasmin to utilize oxygen. So the way that Morley described it on my podcast is he said that hemoglobin is in red blood cells. That's what delivers oxygen, right, to your entire body. So hemoglobin is like the waiter, and copper is the chef. But if you want to get more specific, ceruloplasmin is the chef. So you can't just take a copper supplement and think that you're going to benefit. You need copper plus retinol, which equals beef liver, right? You get them both. And you can do desiccated or you can do the real thing. But all you MTHFR ERs, I made a post on that. MTHFR, all these issues that people are like, it's complicated, my issues, and let me spend 20 minutes telling you my story, Matt. just beef liver. That's probably the answer to your entire life right there, just beef liver. That just solved all your problems, right? It's very possible. So, you know, I always just emphasize, don't make things super complicated because it's just, you get attached to your story, right? Everyone does. And it's like, if you're attached to your story, you can't heal because it's just, you're looking for sympathy from others, and you end up loving telling this story because it's a way to get attention. I know a lot of people get angry with this, but you got to look at the psychology. I had to when I was dealing with we all got issues, right? But when I was looking at mine, I was like, wow, I'm just retelling the story over and over, and we get addicted to it. We get hooked on our dysfunction. And that's like a huge part of healing. And I think it's obviously a balance, right? And a lot of the people that talk about this stuff, like Louise Hay, the emotion code, right? That's a piece, but that's just one piece. Okay, what about your severe retinol deficiency? You can't do the emotion code and be vegan. You're going to be screwed, right? So you get that book, The Emotion Code, and you mix that with retinol, with beef liver, with oysters, with the CLF protocol. Then you actually see complete healing. Not saying I have all the answers, but I mean, 11 years in, I don't know. I created something that seems to be working for a lot of people here. But yeah, Cade, I support you. I think that's awesome. What kind of detox symptoms did you experience when switching from vegan to CLF? Skin issues for sure. Emotional turbulence for a little while, like extreme anger. Definitely needed more sleep. That's about it. Yeah, those are the main things. Thoughts on the Chroma Red Forge, Iron Forge, worth it over a standard light panel? Yeah, Naveen, I have both because that guy is a genius that created Chroma. All his products are just blow me away. His most important one, I think, is the Sky Portal. That's just totally changed how I feel throughout the day to have, because the sky's gray for like 5-6 months straight here, pretty much. And I get at my house, 30 minutes of sunlight a day that hits the house. So I rely very heavily on synthetic light or man-made light devices. And I look at those two as primarily for wounds. I'm doing stuff around here. I'll get nicked up and I'll slice my finger or whatever. So great. Actually, I don't know. I'll probably lose you guys. The connection sucks here. I was going to show you the machines, but basically it's very bright. But if I would just pick one, it would be the near-infrared light. It doesn't look as cool as the visible light. He has a visible red and then a near-infrared handheld thing with fans on it. It gets really hot. If you only get one, you get the NIR because that has more benefits than visible red. Is 2.3 grams of magnesium bicarbonate too much when starting out? No. Yeah, too much is very relative. People think the amount of sugar I use is too much. Guys, I could drink this entire thing right now and feel great. So it's all relative as far as what too much sugar, too much magnesium. Some people need a lot of both. Blood and stool for a few days, once a month. What could be causing it? Best protocol. Yeah, gelatin for hemorrhoids, colon issues is huge. I would make the homemade gummies. A lot of people in this community have a recipe for that. Basically, it's sugar, fruit juice, gelatin, lemon juice. Those are the main things. And, you just use a little glass Pyrex thing and start eating those gummies. Or if you want to be lazy, you just get, saturated collagen. You mix that into your coffee. And I would just look at the fiber that you're ingesting because a lot of fiber can be inflammatory and just harsh on the intestinal tract. So the most gentle fibers are cooked mushrooms, bamboo sprouts, and raw carrot. Those are the three. So try maybe one of those or all of them and see if one feels really good going down. Let's see. Take a drink here. Talking a lot. questions keep getting bumped. Sorry guys, this is annoying. Unless I hold the phone and drain my hand of electrons. My 95-year-old aunt has gallstones. What do you recommend? Yeah, any stone, Shilajit would be my #1 recommendation. And the dosage, start slow, always earlier in the day because it can act like Adderall and caffeine for some people. I try to work people up to 5 a day. For some people, that's still too much, but try 5 a day. Especially at 95, I mean, that's decades of inorganic mineral accumulation. If it was my aunt, I'll say this because I can't give medical advice. If it was my 95-year-old aunt, if she was on pharmaceutical drugs, I would take Shilajit separate from those drugs. If she wasn't, then I would go wild on this stuff, like wild. Is it okay to wear EMF underwear through the airport scanners? Will you get stopped? Yeah, you'll get patted down every time. I do. I've been taking your Dissolve-It-All, and I'm now noticing that I have a stronger hunger when I wake up. Is this a result of the Dissolve-It-All? Yeah, it could literally do anything. I mean, systemic enzyme therapy. Systemic, everything. Best things to take before and after workouts to gain muscle. I like these. They're essential amino acid tablets. I average 20 to 30 a day. And just be careful you don't choke on them because, they're like horse pills. And you have to swallow them whole because it tastes horrible. There's no binders or fillers. It's just the 8 essential amino acids. You can do this and then wait 20, 30 minutes and then have a steak or something like that, or an actual protein meal. But these have been used for muscle wasting. They were first developed in Spain. Huge fan. I've been using them for years. I think they could bring, I've seen my fruitarian vegan friends use them. And it's like a hidden secret that, they used for years to allow them to continue that diet. And it's because it works. It's a standalone protein source. If there's no other protein coming in, you can make all the other proteins from those 8. Let's see. Explain why Convid is a joke. Yeah, John, I say that mainly because it was obviously a political move, and there's so much information now out there about it, and everyone has their own opinion, obviously. I really respect what Dr. Cass Ingram has to say about how it started with basically swine, pigs in China, and they fed them other pigs. So they pretty much turned the pigs into cannibals. And that's a good way to create a pathogen. But they also injected the dead pigs with something before they were fed to the other pigs. So it's like a crazy chain of events because we were all told it was just bats, right? And then so this went to the market, and then that's how it started. But it was absolutely a biological weapon that was created. And from what I've seen, I don't really follow politics too closely, but Biden has a connection with the Chinese president, and basically China now has the U.S. in their back pocket, and it was a whole plan leading up to this election. So, I don't stress about it. I'm way out here. To me, what pisses me off the most, and why I call it Convid, to answer your question directly, is the whole mask issue. I think it's a mass humiliation ritual that the public is unknowingly participating in. I think it's a spiritual, like a spell that has been cast on people. I think Convid sprouted these seeds of germophobia that have been planted for decades in people from maybe commercials or whatever kind of programming that has been instilled in people. Fear of raw dairy because listeria or whatever it is, bacteria. And now we just have, you thought it was Walking Dead before. Now we have like really Walking Dead, right? Like they look like they're suffocating themselves, right? Breathing formaldehyde and chemicals, N95 mask, right? So I'm just very fortunate up here to have access to unlimited guns, ammo, and to not have to wear a mask even when I go to eat at a restaurant. I don't have to wear a mask up here in Idaho when I walk to my seat to eat. That makes me feel more like a human instead of like a human cattle. So I just get really angry. Not a lot of things make me angry. This makes me angry because it's like there's no political solution, right? It's like people have to either raise their testosterone, man or woman, and stand up, or this just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, right? So that's why I'm a big fan of guns. I'm a big fan of, like putting your foot down when it's required. And, I don't think like rioting or like marches on the streets are the way to do it, but I just think non-compliance in mass is the only way to do it. And we're not going to vote our way out of this. And I guess you can call me pessimistic, but I think 5, 10, 15 years down the road, we're still going to have masks on. And I think it's just going to get worse. I don't see this stopping. So, yeah, that's why I work. That's why I do this Mitolife thing. It's like, because people think like physical health is just this small thing. No, it's the foundation. And you've probably seen it. You're having a conversation with someone, you see the fog over the eyes, and you try to talk to them about a really deep thing, and there's just a wall, there's a block. They can't even comprehend, right? Their shields are up and they just turn off. To me, that's a physical reaction, that they're calcified. Their brain is completely calcified, and I'm being like completely serious because you might laugh. Their brain's completely fibrotic. Their brain is full of lipofuscin. So literally their supercomputer and their microprocessing chip called the pineal gland cannot function. They can't create their hormones. They can't create sufficient ATP. They can't create sufficient exclusion zone water around their cells to create a gel-like water that allows for conductivity and electron flow and oxygen flow and energy flow and flow in life. So that's really why I'm so passionate about sharing this information, is like it's activating people, it's turning people back on to be able to be functional again and get off the factory farm, right? And even get off free range and just, make America functional again. Right? That should be the slogan. Let's reverse the brain damage. What would you recommend to someone who lost their sense of taste or smell? Oregano from North American Urban Spice. I like the gel caps of Oregorest. That'd probably be the number one thing to take if they had symptoms of convid. Adam says, hey Matt, don't want to advertise in here, but I asked you on the first Academy Q&A if you would shout out my brand, Methylene Blue, Mag Hydroxide E for Canadians, donating $1 of each sale to Tomo. That's awesome, Adam. Message me on Instagram with the info. Best thing for cystic acne. My acne rant before, same thing, it's retinol. Beef liver. Where does one find a magical lodestone crystal that you showed earlier? eBay. Just search lodestone, one word. Jennifer says, for pets with kidney disease, probiotics are helpful. The brand I know that is always recommended is Azodil. Azodyl. That's awesome. I've never heard of that. Yeah, I know Just Thrive came out with a pet one. I think it's the same formula. It's just branded for pets, I'm pretty sure. Do you currently believe in New World creationism or old 4 billion plus year old Earth and evolution? Humanity and apes descending from a common ancestor? Yeah, Naveen, I'm kind of, on the fence. I think my friend Raw Matt has a very convincing argument against evolution. I look at a character like Bill Nye, the science guy, and how like aggressive and how he just looks like really like angry, and it makes me question alone evolution just to see how aggressive, him and Neil deGrasse Tyson. So maybe the truth's somewhere in between. Getting a little philosophical here, but I really resonate with the book called The Gods of Eden by William Bramley. I first read that in community college. I think it was like 12 years ago, like on the grass in between classes, and changed my life. I believe that, if you want to call them extraterrestrials, created the human body, but the spirit came from somewhere else. So that's a misconception. So you're like, oh, you're saying ETs are gods. No, you didn't let me finish my sentence. They needed a spirit to put in the body. So that's like, that's a little deeper than what you'll hear from like Christians, right? When they're like, oh, you're just saying extra ETs are gods. No, like look into it. It makes sense. Enki and Enlil. Look into all the Babylonian stories, the Sumerian tablets. There's real stuff there that we shouldn't just gloss over. Any recommendations for H. pylori overgrowth? We've tried many things for my wife, but still has some symptoms. Have you tried Just Thrive probiotic? That would be a big one. I would combine Just Thrive probiotic with the P73 wild oregano if I had that. ETA on the under-counter filter. Planning by May or June, the latest. Hopefully sooner. But I don't even have a personal prototype, just to let you know where I'm at with the under-counter filter. Because it's being built from scratch. I didn't just find a company to put it all together. I'm pulling pieces from everywhere to put this together, completely custom. It doesn't exist anywhere in the world. So it's taken some time, but yeah, it will ship internationally. How will your shower filter compare to the Pristine Sante? Yeah, the Sante or the Pristine, that's the best one on the market, I believe, at the moment. If you have that one, I think it's fine to just stick with it. Mine's basically going to be a whole lot of activated carbon, primarily. And that's mainly what you want to do. Like, you want to get out the chloramine. That's the number one thing. Fluoride, who cares? Iron, yeah, you can deactivate it somewhat. You can't take out the iron. You can't lower TDS using a shower filter. That's what a lot of people don't understand too. You need to physically remove the particles, right, with a reverse osmosis system. So the total dissolved solids will not go down with a shower filter. Naveen asking the philosophical questions. What's your current view, perspective on polyamory and casual sex? Curious, as it seems to have changed a lot recently. Yeah, I mean, I think people can make a lot of assumptions based on my posts. Like assumptions are so funny. People think they know you just from an online post. It's hilarious. But I posted something yesterday, Adam Bergstrom, his sex newsletter number 5. And the first line is from Woody Allen, which kind of a sketchy character, right? I think we know that. But he said, sex with one person is a beautiful thing. Sex with 5 is fantastic. I laughed my ass off at that. It's like, if you can't take a joke, your nervous system's fried, right? So I thought it was freaking hilarious. And I got like DMs like, Matt, like an essay, like, that's messed up, blah, blah. I'm like, it's a freaking quote. It's a joke. It's like, Adam's not promoting polyamory because he put a Woody Allen quote at the start of his newsletter. It's because he has a sense of humor. So anyway, just to get that out of the way. But yeah, as far as casual sex, I don't do it. The last time I was sexually active was in my last relationship, which was last year. And, I'm way out in the woods. I pretty much don't have the option. So I kind of, I'm like forced to be celibate, which is probably a good thing because I'm able to focus more on my work. But I did post an article yesterday about, there's a lot of articles showing up now about human interaction with convid. And it was like hugs, like going without hugs for a year affects your mental health. And I was like, oh, I'm screwed. I never get hugs. I get hugged probably an average now once every like 3 months. It's pretty rough. I have the cat, I have Lyra, which is awesome, but it's totally different. So I think it's a balance, because I think if you YouTube search, and this is the last thing I'll say on it, and actually I'll say this too, I think people should be able to do whatever they want as long as it's not harming another person and as long as it's consensual. I don't see anything wrong with consensual stuff going on with people, and it's usually hyper-religious people that are judging them. That said, if you YouTube purity culture, there's a lot of great info on it. And it's obviously a balance, right? Because people could go extreme purity culture, Orthodox Christianity, and then they could go extreme music festival, Burning Man, tent orgies, right? It's like, where's the freaking balance, right? Why are you going from raw vegan to carnivore? Why are you going from raw vegan to raw primal? Why are you going from New Age to Orthodox Christianity? Where's the balance, right? So I had a podcast about this and my spiritual beliefs. And again, I don't want to be a spiritual teacher. That creeps me the freak out. It creeps me out. I don't want to like, because usually people that are sharing spiritual stuff are really shady characters behind the scenes, and they're not doing what they talk about. And the whole holier than thou thing, usually those people are the ones that are guilty the most, that are behind the scenes doing really shady stuff. I've seen it personally with my own eyes, living with someone like this. So I just like to be real as much as I can on social media. And of course, being real, you get attacked a lot and stuff. And, character assassination attempts, I have like 2 or 3. I've had people mail me stuff to my house, gummy dicks last month, all sorts of crazy shit, right? That's why I joke so much. It's like you have to have a sense of humor. You have to laugh at yourself. You have to laugh at other people. And you have to, most importantly, eat your freaking sugar, right? Because that's going to keep you sane in your animal protein. And not take life so freaking seriously, because it's not, okay? If you take it's unsustainable to be so like rigid, right? Just, you'll lose your shit over time. You're going to lose it because you can't hold that rigidity for very long. You're going to break. So anyway, that's all I have to say on that. I don't have casual sex. But then again, I'm 40 minutes from town and I don't go to bars or clubs or music festivals. I don't really see many people at all. I see an average of 1 person a week, and it's usually my neighbor. Yeah. That's nice. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, that's actually, no, last thing on that. This is because I've been looking into this. Dr. Daryl Ray, he has good, I would highly recommend binge watching his YouTube videos, his lectures. Oh my gosh, I'm talking nonstop. So, do I have my throat spray here? Somewhere. I need to get my Protect spray. And you know what would be good? This is actually a good advertisement here. This is a Shen Blossom Protect spray. I'll take a dose right now. It's cough syrup, mint. This stuff is amazing. I always forget about it. I talk nonstop sometimes. It's fermented barley syrup, platycodon root, L-status root, honeysuckle flower, mustard seed tops, chive, winter hollow, all sorts of stuff. There's like 30 ingredients. Wow, it just brought my throat back from the brink of death. Amazing. So again, this is what I was going to say. There's a balance between being a complete purity culture prude and being a music festival, Burning Man, tent orgy person, okay? There's somewhere in between. And I think what's really important to realize is that we're a human in a physical body, and we don't want to get out of our body, we want to get in our body, because the reason why the world's so messed up is everyone's out of their body, right? Because they're trying to numb out because this world's a freaking wreck. And one of the ways to get in your body is physical connection, right? And it could be hugging, kissing, hand holding, right? People usually say sex, but even those other things, and we're lacking that. And I think the reason why a lot of people are messed up is because they're lacking that physical contact. So the way I'm trying to biohack it, being Mr., Matt Damon astronaut, the Martian over here, which super unnatural lifestyle I'm living, which is why when people ask what I eat, it's like, I'm so different, right? Like I have higher serotonin because I'm alone. There's all these factors that I try to biohack, right? So I do different things to mitigate that serotonin and other things. But massage is one of those great things. If you're single, you need physical touch. It's a requirement. They've found that if a baby does not get touched, it dies. I think it's like within the first 6 months or something, or even 3 months. So adults are the same. And, doesn't have to be a happy ending massage, but just a regular massage frequently can help with that aspect. And it is an electron exchange. It is a photon exchange. There's a lot happening when a human being touches another human being. Okay, that's it. You got me going there. Let's see. It's just balance, guys. Just balance, please. Don't get stuck in extremes. Don't stress out over extremes. Could you give links for studies discussing the connection between blue light and lipofuscin? Just search blue wavelength light lipofuscin. I think Adam Bergstrom's ebooks go into that as well. Bob Beck Biotuner or New Calm? Biotuner, 1000%. Way better. Much more versatile. New Calm's good if you're underslept. Ideally, you have both. But the Biotuner, my friend up in Canada, she's healing from traumatic brain injury. And she said the Biotuner has been a total game changer for her TBI. She's been working at this for like 7 years, 8 years. And just 20 minutes, like 3 times a day, she said, is doing wonders for her. First time taking methylene blue, does it matter what time of day or with or without food? I like to take it earlier in the day, Jennifer, so where is it? Where's my little thing? Did it get squashed here? Anyways, yeah, I don't know where my little packet went. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys. And what's funny is I accidentally took blue carnitine last night at like 6 p.m. and there's 50 milligrams of caffeine in here. It's like half an espresso shot. An espresso shot's 90. That was funny. So I like drugged myself. Because blue carnitine's cool. It's like a speedball, I call it. Because it's methylene blue, for those of you that aren't familiar, hemp extract, nicotine, and caffeine. So it's like speedball. And the reason why they added all that stuff is to kind of balance it out. So you get the lift, but then you have the hemp to balance it and all those things. So it comes in like a troche. It's like a lozenge. And it's perforated so you can break it into fourths. And so all with a knife, just on a cutting board, break it up. And you just stick it up here. And I'll do this. I meant to do it before doing this, but I guess I could do it right now. Why not? Let's get it going. And what it does is just incredible for the body. So to answer your question, Jennifer, it depends. If it's blue carnitine, earlier in the day. If it's just blue, anytime. But I would say before, you're going to have a recording or talk to people or, just going to study or whatever, like use more brain power, that's a good time to use it. So that's how it goes. And then, so what I do is I put it on my tongue and then I push it with my tongue up as far back as I can. And I've had it before where it coats my entire front of my teeth, which is funny. If you're out and you have to explain to the cashier or whatever, yeah, I just ate some candy, but they won't even tell if you push it up here because just your teeth over here will be blue and then like half your tongue. So like that, I just push it up. Yeah, it takes some practice, but pretty much in between your cheek and your gum, and that's it. And yeah, methylene blue, it's an electron donor. It's helpful against pathogens. It was originally used for malaria, but viruses. It supports mitochondrial energy production. It does a lot of stuff. There's a great, if you YouTube methylene blue, there's like a biohacking video. I think it's like 20 minutes where this guy, he just goes through the studies and the basic benefits. Like it's been used to, I believe, treat or slow down the progression of Alzheimer's disease. So any kind of neurological thing, which I think we all kind of have, methylene blue is just an excellent thing. And I'll usually do just 1/4 a day. And some days I'll forget. And I don't worry about it if I forget. It's definitely an extra. It's definitely an advanced thing. But I think it's amazing. So let's see here. Where are we at? I've been using the electrolyte balance from Pristine Hydro, so we don't need to shake it up to mix in all the white powder. We should just drink the clear water off the top. Lauren, after it's made, then you just drink the clear water off the top. Does that make sense? So you shake it first. I usually do it before I go to bed and then let it, sit all night. So this is the ideal protocol. So you can already tell. So this is the ideal protocol for making magnesium bicarbonate. Okay, you get your reverse osmosis water. Okay, you cool it. You soda stream it. Okay, you add the carbonation. Then you add the magnesium powder. You shake it. You put it in the fridge for like the next 20, 30 minutes, probably half hour. Every 5 minutes, you go to the fridge, you shake it, you put it back in the fridge. So, maybe half hour before you go to bed. And then that batch you make should last like a week or so or more, depending on how much you're drinking. Some people, they should do multiple shots throughout the day. But, over the last 3 months, I've opened up a little bit more to different forms of magnesium, partly due to guests on my podcast that have used magnesium pills successfully with clients and looked at hair tissue mineral analysis results and all these different tests to see the levels, actually mag RBC, to see the levels going up. And I guess what I want to say is that there's nothing wrong with unnatural, there's nothing wrong with synthetic, and that trips people out because they're like, oh, what's it sourced from, blah, blah, blah. Most people are taking unnatural forms of magnesium, but they work. Are you going to get ethical about it? Or are you just going to say, oh, wow, well, it worked? You know what I mean? Because if you want to get only all natural, right? And what's funny is those people that are oh, against synthetic vitamins and against synthetic this and that. Guys, you're taking synthetic magnesium. What's the deal? I mean, it works. The only natural forms of magnesium that you would ever find in nature are magnesium bicarbonate, which is pretty much impossible to find in nature now, and magnesium chloride, which is 3.7% approximately of ocean water. 1.7% is magnesium sulfate. Go out into nature and find magnesium glycinate. Show me magnesium threonate. Show me magnesium taurate, magnesium malate, right? I mean, some of these forms are found in muscle meat and stuff, but in the amounts that you need to supplement, no way. So I always think that's funny and that people trip out about that because it's our problems are unnatural, so we need unnatural solutions. That's basically where I'm at. If we can use as many natural therapies as we can, great. But I guess it's called integrative medicine, right? It's like taking the best of both worlds. Let's see. Autoimmune people who react to sugar and dairy, even when they don't eat nuts or seeds. Yeah, autoimmunity, there's a big iron issue there. I would say pretty much all people with an autoimmune condition have severe iron overload. a lot of these people will probably be told that they're anemic, actually, which is totally a misdiagnosis, because low ferritin does not mean low iron. And this is a big story. You know, you need to, there's like 7 podcasts with Morley Robbins, but it's so misunderstood, the whole iron thing. And when people learn they have autoimmune conditions, they, you know, blame all the sugar they ate, or all the gluten they ate, or the mold, or the heavy metals, or the EMFs, or anything except iron, right? So it's really important to look into that. And it's a game changer for your life to realize that copper regulates iron. Just that phrase, game changer for your life. Because most of the population has no clue, right? Most of the population doesn't know that we need 1 milligram of iron orally by mouth. You get that when you're not, it's like PUFAs. It's like omega-3s. There's no way to get 0 omega-3s unless you just fast, right? Or just be a fruitarian. But with iron, it's like we're getting well over 1 milligram a day, especially if you're drinking well water, spring water, tap water, mineral water, right? And then people are drinking medical medium juice. It's like we're loaded. And, you know, people focus on the meat, but it's really the vegetables that are the biggest iron source. The vegetables and the unfiltered water, Kangen water, garbage, waste of money, scam, multi-level marketing. Anyway, let's see. What are your thoughts? Oh no, I missed one. Last question. Should I recommend dairy to everyone? I know some people are intolerant. Is the answer for them to avoid dairy to cure their acne, or is the answer to cure their intolerance? Yeah, fix the metabolism, you know. I sell a supplement called Dairy Absorb, which is lactase enzyme. See, my tongue's super blue now. And lactase enzyme digests the primary sugar found in dairy, which is called lactose, which is a disaccharide sugar containing of galactose and glucose. And a lot of people have trouble breaking down that disaccharide sugar. That's where lactase supplementation comes in. But if you don't want to supplement it, just get the pancreas online, right? Systemic enzyme therapy, bicarbonates. The pancreas doesn't like PUFAs. It likes sugar. Right? The pancreas requires sugar to regenerate the beta cells that secrete insulin. So it's like this. You stack out everything in place, and then wow. And it has to do with the amount too, like titrating the dose. So starting slow, you know, don't start with a huge bowl of ice cream. Start with 1 scoop, and the next day have 2, you know, like, or for the first week have 1 scoop. Or if we're talking about milk, half a cup a day, right? It's really about going slow with dairy, and that input of dairy will get your system to start producing that lactase over time. And they've had studies on this of lactose intolerant people being okay from just doing, it's really about the dosage with dairy. I think people just go too hard, too fast, and then they have a reaction. So just have less and go slow, increasing it. Let's see here. What do we got? Sandy says, just wanted to say I really appreciate your open-mindedness and willingness to challenge the status quo. You don't see that so much these days. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Yeah, it's always, anyway. Do you still, I don't want to get into another philosophical rant. Do you still like the Great Lakes gelatin, or is the Australian brand in your shop better? Yeah, Satchery is the best from what I've seen. Their sourcing is definitely better than Great Lakes. What are your thoughts on the Lumen device that measures your CO2 concentration, says it helps measure your metabolism? I haven't heard of that, Jennifer. That sounds pretty cool. I need another device like I need a bullet in the head. I don't know. I don't know. Get it and tell me how it is. I have so many devices now. It's crazy. full-on spaceship. I've been on CLF for almost 2 months, and my monthly cycle so far has gotten heavier, and I've had major headaches. Could they be atypical detox symptoms, possibly, that should be expected? Lauren says headaches are just during the cycles. Usually, Lauren, headaches are caused by a magnesium deficiency. So I would maybe double or triple your magnesium and see what happens. But 42% of the enzymes in your body are dependent upon magnesium. So you often hear, you just Google, and it's Google, right? Magnesium benefits. It's like, 300 enzymes. No, 3,700 enzymes. That's big. It's not 300 enzymes to 3,700. That's a big difference, right? That's more important than this article makes it out to be. Almost half of your enzymatic activity. These are the spark plugs of life, right? Enzymatic reactions. It allows chemical reactions to occur. Enzymes. 42%. So the primary cause of headaches is a magnesium deficiency. And your magnesium burn rate, or the rate at which you're using up magnesium to perform physiological functions, varies by what you have going on. So a lot of people don't know magnesium is a heavy metal chelator. So lead, mercury, thallium, whatever it is, your body will use magnesium to kick those things out. And there's other things, silica for aluminum. There's a lot of things to balance out heavy metal poisoning. But magnesium takes a big hit. And a lot of these metals get stored in the tissues, especially the brain tissue. And so if you're having headaches, most likely these things are mobilizing, these metals potentially, and that's what's causing the headache. And so you just need to up your magnesium to match that. Same thing when people ask me about, the estrogen issue with the vitamin E. Like, vitamin E helps to detox estrogen. It's going to be intense. Well, yeah, it's going to be intense if you're not eating something to bind to it, like the raw carrot. So that's really the combination. If you do the vitamin E and the raw carrot, the vitamin E will liberate the excess estrogen from your tissues, and then the raw carrot will, so to speak, catch it and be able to escort it out. Cooked mushrooms or bamboo shoots can do it as well. It's not just the carrot. And really any fiber to some degree, but for a lot of people that are extremely compromised, you want these fibers that are more gentle. Hope that helps. And you might want to look into magnesium chloride baths. Get filtered water and soak your feet. I have it on my website, Ancient Minerals. That's a way to really load up on magnesium quick. Do you take that resin from Shen Blossom daily? Mike asks. The blood purifier. I want to take resin because I read Ingram's book on it, but it has black seed oil. Yeah, he's a PUFA fan. Cass is awesome though. So you're talking about this stuff, Aka Hinoki. Yeah, it's a mix of 4 different resins, and I tend to take it every day. Actually, so I don't forget. Some days I'll forget. I need to make like a list because I have so many things. So it actually comes, because this won't fit in the bottle, so they actually include this dropper separately, and you're just supposed to take a drop. It's funny, my friend that visited, I dosed him up, and he took like 3 or 4 drops. I'm like, whoa. Like they say work up to 6 or 7 a day, but don't exceed 7 a day. But fortunately, he was fine. He didn't run to the bathroom or anything. But yeah, just 1 drop a day. It's so potent. Tree resins are amazing. And yeah, Cass Ingram, he has this company, Purely Wild. Where are they? They're right here. Spruce and pine resin. And I've harvested spruce resin around here because there's mostly spruce trees. You do the same with pine tree. A lot of people will cut the tree, which it's kind of messed up. It's better to find trees that are already, you know, slashed by a bear or something. But if you do cut the tree, you always want to go vertical, not horizontal. Because if you go horizontal, it'll kill the whole tree. And so, yeah, this could be used as gum, as an antiseptic topically. You know, spruce or pine, they're incredible. But they each have different qualities as far as their anti-parasitic effects and hormonal effects. But yeah, big fan of that. And then I also like, where is it? The combination Mountain Detox. And this stuff doesn't taste that bad, actually, for being, you know, for this kind of ingredient list. And this is just a microbe detox. And this is something you take consistently as well for microbes. But if I had any sort of infection, like, you know, pathogenic, parasite, whatever, I would use those two products with the Rife machine. That would be such a powerful combo to knock out whatever you got. Again, Lyra, I didn't tell the whole story, but she had living white worms crawling around her anus. This was like a week and a half ago. Like they were crawling in and out of her butt. Sorry if you're eating right now. And I had never seen that. And she probably ate a dead bird or a dead mouse because there's mice around here. And I was like, well, I have had this Rife machine, so let me try it. And so I set it up where she sleeps by the fireplace, and it knocked it out within 3 days. I would pick her up and inspect her butt. No worms. Zero. Not one. 3 days. Killed. It was like a severe infestation. There were like 5, 6, 7 around her butt. So, you know, I think people think like, oh, it's just alternative stuff. It's like frequency therapy, woo, you know. No, it works. It's called resonance. You know, there's a guy that can, you know, tap a glass, listen, and then match it with his voice, like sing and shatter it. It's exactly how this works. And the NIH, the National Institute of Health, published a frequency list of everything has a frequency, right? It's not like an esoteric thing, it's real. So whether it's pregnenolone, testosterone, DHEA, progesterone, estrogen, it all has a different frequency. And pathogens have one. And if you match it, it turns out that it actually breaks up their shell so your immune system can get to them. So I grew up in San Diego. Royal Rife actually had his lab there. It was pretty much by the beach. And he discovered this using radio frequency as the delivery mechanism to shatter pathogens. And, you know, with cancers, it's like, it's a good first aid thing to have. You know, the machine ranges from like 6 to 11, 12 grand, something like that, depending on how much time you have for treatment. But, you know, as a first aid thing, to have like your own like hospital kind of machinery, it's worth it to me. That's kind of how I live my life. It's like, I don't have a hospital nearby. So, you know, why do I have so many freaking supplements as well? Whatever goes wrong, you know, I'm helping my neighbors out. They're like family to me. So if they have something wrong, I help them out. And I have been helping him out with fibromyalgia with systemic enzymes. And it's been working. And now I'm working on his eyes and creating a protocol for him for that. Again, I'm not playing doctor. I don't have all the answers, but I just study a lot. You know, I don't play. I don't go to clubs. I don't go to raves. I don't go to music festivals. I just stay here and study in my house with my cat, right? So I figured out some stuff. And it's really about stacking the right stuff and getting rid of the wrong stuff. Okay, let's see. Tips on how to make hair grow back faster and thicker. I remember you recommended silica on a different live. Yeah, Yana, Chris Sweeting, EMR Tech, I had him on my podcast. He's done a lot of studying with hair regrowth. And I think in the first like 15, 20 minutes of the podcast, Chris talked about that. And there's a lot of people think there's, you know, it's just DHT, dihydrotestosterone. But he was actually talking about how oxygen not getting to the hair follicle will cause hair loss. And what prevents oxygen from getting to the hair follicle? Well, I would say it's CLF, specifically lipofuscin, because a lot of elderly people, receding hairline. Why is lipofuscin, age spots, the terminal toxin, in the same spot that these people are losing their hair, right? Next time you go on a plane, play the game, spot the lipofuscin. I would imagine like 10% of the plane or more has an old guy on it with a huge bald spot, and they say, oh, it's genetics. Bullshit. It's lipofuscin. Because the age spots are all here, and that's where the hair loss is. And for every one spot on the skin, there's 10 to 100,000 under the surface. So that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? It's just like our conscious mind. It's just the tip of the iceberg versus the unconscious mind. Same thing with lipofuscin. It's just a small percentage. If you can see that many, like Jack Kruse, the doctor, just imagine how many are filling up the brain. That's incredible. I mean, talk about hair loss. There's like no coming back. But I think with things like red light therapy, I'm using that with a couple friends that want to regrow their hair. I would use like the Fire Wave from EMR Tech, and either lay on your bed and set it up in such a way that it's shining right on your noggin, and do, it doesn't take much, 10-15 minutes. Just read a book or something while you're getting your treatment. You can even rig it up from the ceiling if you want to and sit under it or something. That'd probably be the way to go. And red light therapy or low-level laser therapy, triple LT, has been used, and there's a company now selling like a helmet deal to regrow hair. I would say don't go crazy like that. Just get a Fire Wave, which the power output's going to be more. Because I think that thing's mobile, like it's not plugged in while you're using it, is my understanding. The one that I keep seeing ads for, the light helmet. But something that you plug in is going to be higher powered. And so that's like the Fire Wave. And you can use a Gemba as well. They're both great companies. Just depends on where you're at in the world. With shipping, Gemba just domestic in the US. And yeah, red light therapy, vitamin E. That's kind of like the combo for the hair. Let's see here. Will the whole house water filter ship internationally? It should, yeah. How much it will weigh for shipping it, I have no idea, Navian, about that. Best protocol to heal from food sensitivities. Kate Deering's book, How to Heal Your Metabolism. Buy it, read it. Take another swig of water here. Let's see, where's the chat? Have had blood and stool for many years, from hemorrhoids off and on. Getting better as I heal, but still see it a few days a month. What can I do to fully heal from this? Yeah, so earlier, my gelatin recommendation, that's really it. Look on my Matt Blackburn site, that gummy recipe. You don't have to get the gummy molds and go crazy, wherever those are. Just get a Pyrex container. I'll just show you the routine here. One of these deals. I know this is like super dirty and bachelor life. And just get one of these and then just make the gummy mixture on the stovetop. Basically, water with the gelatin, you bloom it. I think it's like a 2-to-1 water to gelatin ratio. Usually, all the ingredients are on my website. But instead of pouring it into gummy molds, just pour it into here. Megadose the gelatin. And if you don't want to do this, if you don't have the time, then what you do is bone broth. And you can buy the frozen bone broth packages. Okay. But yeah, gelatin is going to be your main thing for hemorrhoids and issues like that. And you can even supplement glycine. If you want to go crazy, get glycine. It doesn't matter the brand. Just look for, minimum binders and fillers and stuff. And, take, if it was me, I'd do 20 to 30 capsules a day, or the serving size is 3 capsules, 3,000 milligrams. Do that every hour. I think people get scared with like megadosing certain things, but it's like, guys, it's glycine. Look up the research on glycine. And the more natural way to do it, glycine is a predominant amino acid complex found in gelatin. So, glycine is a predominant amino acid found in gelatin. And so if you want to do it the whole food style, just do gelatin powder or collagen powder, make your gummies with the gelatin, or you could drink bone broth, or you could supplement glycine. But glycine is like the primary factor here. Uh-oh, what happened here? Super chat. Oh, live chat. Okay. Is there a huge difference in quality and benefits from Great Lakes and Satchery? Chris, no. If Great Lakes is easier, it's faster, or whatever, do Great Lakes. Just get started. Lauren says, medical medium sold a big lie that most chronically ill people are overloaded with excess copper. So I always assumed I was high in copper to my own detriment for so long. Yeah, it's a sad thing because I was on a YouTube bender with my friend Matthew the other night. We were just watching videos, and we watched a ton of medical medium videos and some interviews, and just listen to this character talk. And he's like, I think it was Lewis Howe or something, or it was like a big name interviewing him, and medical medium says eggs feed pathogens. It's like, what? There's retinol in eggs. The retinol is how you load copper into ceruloplasmin. You need vitamin A. It's not found in any plant. That's beta carotene, which has to be converted into retinol, which is active vitamin A. And you need active vitamin A to load copper into active copper, which is called ceruloplasmin. Right? So there's these steps, and the steps require animal foods. So all the things that medical medium was saying, avoid eggs, just do meat if you like it, but for sick people, meat's not good. That's what he says. Total BS. Steaks heal. Red meat heals, even with the iron in it, because most people are protein deficient. And the amino acids, the B12, the B complex, the copper, there's all, the minerals, there's all these things in red muscle meat, whether it be elk, bison, venison, grass-fed beef. These are healing foods. And we've been told that they're acidic, that they're going to cause all these issues, whatever, mucus forming, all these like little... And everyone's just walking around deficient because they bought all this stuff, right? So people are not only toxic and stuff, but they're severely deficient. And I always emphasize strategic supplementation. So it's not about taking like every supplement. It's about throwing out the wrong ones like zinc, omega-3s, iron, ascorbic acid. Those should not be taken pretty much ever. And then putting in the right things like desiccated oyster, desiccated liver, or real oysters, real liver. Real thing's always better, right? But I don't have good oysters here because I'm way inland. I'd have to drive to like Seattle. So yeah, that's that. Let's see. How old is Adam Bergstrom? I think he's approaching 80, pretty sure. He said it in the recent podcast with Morley. Are you going to do a Mitolife Academy on what you take for emotional support as a protocol? I will. Yeah, Chris. I mean, I've been experimenting pretty hard, because it's easy to get, I'm a lone wolf, so don't feel sympathy for me at all. Like, I'm an introvert, I'm a lone wolf. I like being alone. People drain me in general. Even my family, even my closest friends, they all drain me. Everyone drains me, right? So I can only stand anyone for so long. Some people might say that's an issue. I don't think it is. I think it's like an individual thing. Some people are just like that, okay? That's why I moved out to the middle of nowhere. I didn't care about moving out of the city because I'm like, well, I like being alone, right? And it doesn't mean like never see family and friends. Not saying that. Community is important, but yeah, I've been experimenting with neurotransmitter balance and all that. And I think a lot of it has to do with light, a healthy relationship with light. Obviously having a pet works. That's why a lot of single, women buy a dog, or, men will buy, companion pets. And usually dogs people gravitate more towards than cats. I don't know why that is. I guess because they can take them for walks and their protection and stuff. I think cats are spiritual protection personally, and I think they're underrated. I think they have a purpose. They don't just poop and eat. But yeah, my cat's super cuddly, and I grew up with 2 stray cats, so I don't know. I guess I just like cats. I like dogs too, but they're a lot more work for sure. And I'm at a point with my business and my life where I don't really have time for a lot of stuff like that. So, just play for 2 hours a day or whatever. So, yeah, cat works out with my lifestyle. And that serotonin piece is a lot, because if you look up, there's a connection between isolation and serotonin increasing. So if I put you on Mars in your own little bubble and left you there for like 3 to 6 months by yourself, we would see a rise in the neurotransmitter, and also known as the stress hormone, serotonin, because it's the hibernation hormone. And if you can convert, it goes tryptophan, the amino acid, to serotonin to melatonin, then you could use up that serotonin to generate melatonin. And to do that step, you need really bright white, blue light during the day. That's the first half of the equation. And then at night, you need to block artificial light from your eyes. That's the second part of the equation. So bright, blue, white, full spectrum light, start of the day, specifically blue wavelength, 365 nanometers. That sets you up for melatonin production at night, but you have to block the blue at the same time, or the same day. So people forget about that conversion, right? That's like really important to like convert that hibernation hormone to melatonin, which has a lot of effects. And that helps to balance out emotional, changes your dreams, all sorts of stuff. What to do for panic attacks? Increase nutrient absorbability along with CLF. Yeah, I just had someone message me, I don't know if you saw on Instagram, about anxiety. And their anxiety went away after 3 months on the protocol. I would say someone that's anxious likely has hypothyroidism, so low thyroid. And is the solution taking T3? Probably not. You probably want to increase your own production. Take a swig here. But that's possible. I mean, T3 has been used to help with anxiety, but you really want to get the liver working. So I guess if I wanted to make this concise, if I had anxiety, what I would do is I would double or triple my magnesium intake, multiple different forms, not just one form. I would do a whole bunch of forms at once: magnesium baths, magnesium bicarbonate, magnesium pills, all 3. And then I would support my liver to convert inactive T4 thyroid hormone to active T3 with glycogen, with pastured eggs, choline, with sugar. I might up my sugar. Usually anxiety is just a sugar deficiency as well. So anxiety is a stress response, right? And as Josh Rubin just said in our interview a couple of days ago, he said, stress is not a thing, right? It's how we respond to an event. So how our physiology responds to a stressor is how much resiliency we have. And our resiliency of our nervous system is regulated by multiple things: minerals, sugar, animal protein, right? There's a lot of factors, but those are the main ones. And so if you can kind of just take an inventory and figure out where your missing piece is, and it might just take time, right? And you might have to like physically, like, you know, it might be a cell tower crush. I mean, there's a billion things, right? Your relationship sucks, whatever it is, you know, it might not just be, you know, nutrition and stuff like that. It might be you have to break up with someone, you have to move. Nothing else will stop it except those things, right? So you have to like figure that out. But if it's not like a crappy relationship or a crappy living situation, then it's usually those things before that I mentioned. Such a good live, man. Thanks so much for all your help. Oh, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. What are we, a little over an hour? Cool, I caught up on the questions. Let's see what we have here. When will your interview with Jen Cabello come out? Nancy, that's a good question. I don't know. But at some point, hound her, message her. What do you guys want to talk about? Is this it? This can't be it. Should I rant? Should I give you guys a tour? What I have here? Where's Lyra? I think she's on the bed. She usually wants to make a guest appearance. I don't know where she is. What new things am I doing that I could talk about here? I already talked about infopathy. Oh, this light. Oh, we got a question. Mitch, this is a near-infrared light, $169 on my website. I actually just recommended this to a friend yesterday that's dealing with eye issues. And I told her 30 seconds a day. It's like, put it literally on your eye and look into it. That's all it takes. And near-infrared light is tremendous for eye health, especially if you have vitamin E and niacinamide. My basic protocol for any eye issue, inflammation, this, niacinamide, 6 caps a day, and vitamin E. Like, I have a friend that's getting ready to do eye surgery, and he was asking me for a before and after protocol, and basically that was systemic enzymes afterwards. Let's see, Mitch is in the house. So Mitch actually went to one of my live, I think it was my last live talk after I discovered all this stuff. It was like early in my journey of the metabolism stuff. This was at, what's it called? Yeah, it was an expo in San Diego before I moved. And, you know, my average attendees, I think there were only like 8 people in the seat, but I had my date smoothie there, and I was talking about PUFAs. This was my first time going live about it. And at that point, I had a pretty good handle on the problem. And yeah, it was great. I love connecting with you guys in person because it just gets so weird online. It's like Instagram drama, social media drama. You think you know me, right? I think I know you, and that could all be solved in person. So yeah, I hope to do more like in-person deals. I really miss giving talks in person. It's just so weird talking to this piece of, you know, silica, metal, lithium, whatever. I'd like much rather talk to people face to face. But yeah, most conferences suck nowadays. So I might just end up, you know, hosting retreats. That's kind of what I'm moving towards. I might as well, because there's a lot of technology I've been getting the last few months that I have here that I cycle through. You know, I got to stay busy. I'm just here by myself. So I kind of have these health stations that I go through. And you guys know my hyperbaric oxygen chamber, the Rife machine. I have a few other goodies that I'll use. But I think the retreat would be fun, and kind of see like a before and after using my GDV camera of people would be fun too. Let's see. Mitch says, what's your main source of lighting in the kitchen? We have a huge fluorescent bulb and trying to find a solution because the kitchen is so dark in the morning. Yeah, so I have, I'm going to upgrade, but I have A19 lights. So I don't know why that one looks white, but that's how that looks. And then that's that one. So basically, this one will be easy to see. Lightbulbs.com, just an orange bulb. And my throat. You can get LED ones. I'm actually waiting. Sunlight is a good brand. There we go. Get more light in here. But yeah, game changer to switch out your bulbs for these. All right. Wow, that's bright. Uh-oh. There we go. Where's my chat here? I think I'm feeling another espresso shot. I don't know if that's going to amp me up too much. Mitch says, wow, so cool. Lauren says, thank you for all the great info. You are welcome. Thank you guys for the great questions. Really appreciate the support too. Like, it really means a lot that you guys, you know, subscribe to the Academy and stuff. I've had people wanting me to do this for several months now. And to be honest, it's hard to keep up with. Like the last month I was like, should I just quit doing the Academy? Because I feel a little overwhelmed, but I'm getting it down. And, you know, I promise I'll get you your videos if you're signed up to advanced. Like even if it's the last day of the month, I promise 4 videos a month, so you will get them. But I'm going to try to be more consistent with them. And I kind of just run out of ideas too. I mean, I have a billion things to talk about, but it really helps you guys to tell me what you want to see and what you want me to make little Academy videos on, like how-to videos and stuff. I'll probably do one on gummies, even though I don't make them very often because I'm lazy. But, you know, I could do some recipe videos maybe, like a pancake video. I don't know. I just want to make it worth it to you guys. So whatever you want to see specifically, I'll do it. I'm testing out the eye drops that Victor recommends. Carnosine, so far so good. Gonna try the Russian SKQ1 drops. Adam, that's cool. Victor has a lot of cool tricks up his sleeve. Mitch says, was such a fun night. Never had sushi that good again since. Yeah, I really miss that lemon basil roll. That's my favorite. It's so good. Salmon lemon basil, I think is what it was. What sunscreen can you recommend? Beauty Counter, I think, has the best one. It's like a zinc based. And you know, if you're on bioavailable copper, I wouldn't worry about transdermal zinc here and there. Ideally, you just cover up with clothes. That's probably the best, you know, sunblock. Not sure if I missed it, but did you talk about your evening with Ben at all? Any cool new things you learned? Yeah, so I hung out with Ben Greenfield. A lot of you guys probably don't know that. And that was a few weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. He's quite the character. And, you know, it's like me. Like, I feel like I'm the same in person. Like, if you meet me in person, I'm the same. I'm just, like, dosing you on stuff. I'm like, here, try this. And, you know, all I want to do is talk about health. You know, because I've met people that talk about health and they don't like to talk about health in person. They just want to talk about sports or drama or conspiracies. It's so weird to me. I can talk about health all day long because it's why I'm here on the planet. So, yeah, I sensed that with Ben as well, which was refreshing because I've hung out with some really big names with like millions and millions and millions and millions of followers, and they're not the same in person. And in fact, they're like the opposite. So yeah, Ben was the real deal. I was very happy and energized after the encounter. And yeah, as far as what I learned, I don't know. It was more just like a photon exchange, I guess you can say. I don't want to sound like, you know, airy-fairy weird, but it was interesting because it's when I think the whole like social distancing thing that they have us on, a big reason why, you know, convid, social distancing, is because there's an upload and a download of information via biophotons whenever you're standing next to somebody. or hugging someone or whatever, you're just in the vicinity of another human being, there's an information exchange via photon emission, because we're always emitting infrared light and UV light. And that is most of the communication when you're around another person. So, that's, you always say, oh, nonverbal communication. Well, most of that is electromagnetic and it's photonic. And yeah, that's the coolest thing I learned from Ben. It was what he gave me via photons in his magnetic field. I know that sounds super weird. It's true though. And yeah, I think that's one of the best ways to communicate with somebody. I think it's the future, honestly. I think we're missing that. And there's not a lot of people nowadays that have coherent light emitting from their body because their body's in chaos. And so it's like shining a light through like a foggy glass instead of clear. Having histamine issues for 4 weeks, is there any recommendations or what you would do? Yeah, vitamin E actually has a very powerful effect against histamine. I would say vitamin E and copper, Chris, emphasize those two things. Copper activates an enzyme called DAO, and that enzyme deactivates histamine. So I'd say beef liver and vitamin E supplementation, and that should help. And also just improving thyroid function will help overall. Do you eat pork or chicken? Once in a blue moon, very occasionally. I'll eat bacon on average once or twice a year. I never crave it. I don't really particularly like the taste. I just do it to switch things up. Chicken tacos I can get down with, but they have to be free range chicken. I won't eat factory farmed meat ever, pretty much. Okay, like at the airport, I have like, burger occasionally, and they say, Angus beef 100%, and there's all this stuff, but who knows where it's coming from, right? So usually when I go to the airport, I do my best to eat before, or I'll bring like jerky and fruit. But sometimes I will eat their food, but I'll avoid it if it's a really short journey. But it's better to eat than to fast. That's a big part of my message, because I used to be orthorexic, because it's like, just like fast, if you can't find food, it's like, that does a lot of damage to the body. So it's a balance. But yeah, pork and chicken should be limited because the PUFAs. Mitch says, don't quit. This academy is amazing. Love that you're doing this. Thanks for the encouragement. Appreciate that. How much Dissolve-It-All would you recommend women take if they are nursing or pregnant? So can't give medical advice, obviously, but Yana, I would say if it was my hypothetical partner that was nursing or pregnant, from my research, I've seen a benefit and a decrease in complications from systemic enzyme therapy. So nursing, normal dose as anyone else. Pregnant, 3 capsules a day is what I would do, I could say. All right, you guys are asking a ton of questions, so I'm going to do a couple another espresso shots here. Let's do it. How much Dissolve-It-All would you recommend women take if they are... Okay, I already answered that. Can you do a video how your day week looks like in Idaho? Like a day in the life thing? Yeah. I can do that. Like from when I wake up sort of thing. Let's see. Is grass-fed lamb liver as good as beef liver? Yes. You just want to avoid like chicken liver. It's not the same as ruminant liver. Ruminant animals detoxify PUFAs better. Can't get my sleep cycle regulated. My energy and hunger spike after 11 p.m. and I can't get to sleep. The hard to wake up in the morning. I'm avoiding blue light at night. What else can I do? Are you getting bright light in the morning, John, or in the afternoon? it sounds like you're missing the first part of the equation I was talking about earlier. Most people are. And that's something that I want to start emphasizing, because people think just blocking blue at night's enough, but there's two sides of the coin. And so, yeah, I would definitely get like a blue light device or Spurti, or just get out in the sun. I need to throw another log in the fire here. One sec. But yeah, if you have access to sunlight, then just get out there and get like just even 5 minutes in the morning. You guys want to see something crazy? I know this is super dangerous, but okay. Usually it starts by then, so you guys get a show. There we go. That's how I have fun. Okay. Let's see here. All right, the espresso's ready. This is a day in the life right here. John, I would, you can do stuff like neurofeedback. It might be like a deeper issue. I like Neuroptimal. You might want to try the Biotuner. You might want to try Nucalm. There's all sorts of stuff to try, but I would say the first thing to try is getting that bright stimulus in the AM and the early afternoon, because that's going to probably make the biggest difference right there. Let's see here. Mitch like that. Explosion. Any tallow-based skincare is a hand lotion. Fancy Farm hasn't made one yet. Tallow-based. Look at Cosma Beauty. I guess, I don't. I thought they had an animal-based one, but maybe not. But yeah, check out Cosma. Did we catch up again? I think we caught up again. Wow. Let me see what the super chats say. I think it shows upgraded. A couple people upgraded. Appreciate it. Okay, cool. Well, let me dump this out again. Hopefully we don't lose power here. By the way, this is Lyra's litter box called the Litter Robot. It's awesome. If you have a cat, save a ton of time. It's all automatic. You guys want to see my goat? This is every time I walk out here, she whines. Can I zoom on this thing? Wow, I can. See, there's Magda. I decided today that's her name. And then here comes the chicken. Here's the chicken. She wants more food. I don't have more steak for you. Sorry. I give them goat cheese, though. They get a lot. Okay. Enough taunting the goat. I always feel bad. I wish, because they're not alone. They have each other, and they could see each other through the thing. But I do plan to breed them, and I will have her have babies. So, I'm not going to separate them. I'm probably just going to keep the babies with her all the time. Because I have too much milk anyway. I can't have a ton. Let me turn down the fireplace here. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got. Does the goat care require a lot of work? Sandy, it is a piece of cake, honestly. It's so easy. I mean, I have something called an easy milker, which is like, I think it was like $400 or $500. And then it just comes with 2 bottles. So I hand milked, which is like, fine. If you don't have electricity, it's fine. But it took me 20 minutes, and it was like a super hand workout. And it's great. I guess there's a deeper connection with the goat or something, but I'm all about making life easy. especially to do things like this. You know, I probably couldn't do the academy if I was hand milking my goat. So I bought this milker, which you just turn on, basically it's a vacuum, and you put it on the udder and it will vacuum out at a certain PSI that's comfortable to the goat. And it's actually more comfortable to them on the udders than hand milking. And I'll do that every morning. And at some, her milk production is slowing down, and at some point it will stop. And then at that point, if she's in heat, then I will put her with the buck. I will mate them, and then she'll have babies, and you know, her milk will go to the babies. And I'm having trouble keeping up, honestly, with how much she's producing. It's like on average a quart a day of milk, which adds up. So yeah, but it's fun. It's worth it. I feel really good. It's security, you know. It's like a big reason why I moved up here is food security and water security. And there's deer running around my yard all the time. There's elk. Seen, you know, there's elk and moose here. And you know, there's wells all over the place. There's snow, there's rain. You know, I moved from the desert, you know, SoCal. It's like there's no food, no water. It's like if everything dries up, everyone dries up. That's why I really like the PNW, the Pacific Northwest, is because you're set. Civilization collapses, you just shoot a deer. That's assuming you have a gun and ammo, right? Which, you know, up here it's not illegal. So, yeah, that brings me the most peace. Because yeah, it sucks, you know, not having human interaction and not being able to, you know, have a feminine touch or whatever. And I know that's not the right motion, but like a hug, like, you know, it's like, but it's worth it for me, because what gives me the most peace is food and water security. It's just like, wow, I'm rich, you know, food and water. Like I have water and I have food and I have guns and I have ammo. It's like, to me, that just brings me the most peace. Because I don't think, you know, this civilization is as stable as people think. You know, I think they could just shut it down at any moment. And I'm not like a doomsday apocalyptic kind of guy. I don't think we should, like, you know, we should be prepared, but we shouldn't like stress about it. That's kind of where I'm at in my life. So yeah, next plan for me is power. That's this year's goal for me. My personal life is to get my power security down. And I'm talking about electric power. And yeah, my neighbor's looking into some really advanced batteries and very cool stuff. Technology's gotten better in that area. So I know free energy and all that. There's certain companies, but I don't know if I buy it. So maple syrup. Here we go. And I don't have a shot glass that fits both. I know people say, why do you always pour 2 shots? Well, one's for the homie. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Double shot. Why not? I don't have a huge... If one of you guys wants to send me one, just kidding. I'm not giving you my address. Creep. Just kidding. All right. Let's get back to the questions here. I love your goat. What's the plan for the weekend? I think just self-care, you know, just I'm going to get back into my hyperbaric oxygen therapy routine, neurofeedback. I've been using the V-Light Gamma a little more. It's the headset with intranasal light. My red light therapy, just light therapy in general. My stand-up UV light, I really enjoy that. That's really powerful. I think you guys probably saw, I think it was an intermediate video that I did on this thing. But yeah, it really works. It's amazing. So I'll stand in front of this maybe, I don't know, 8 minutes, both sides. Okay. I heard Georgie talking about feeding chicken's liver, which makes the eggs amazing. Oh, beef liver. Interesting. So you feed the chickens beef liver, Adam? It's kind of cool. I think I've done that to them. Would you sell your goat milk for local pickup? Yana, if you're nearby, I mean, I'm pretty far north. I don't know. I think a lot of people think I'm in like Boise. That's pretty far away from you. Cheers. Thanks for all you do. I just had my blood work taken and it just came back showing enlarged red blood cells. What does that typically indicate? Enlarged red blood cells. I have heard that the shape of the red blood cells should be more like a disc shape, like a flying saucer shape and not round. So honestly, I don't know, but if I had to guess, it's that they're enlarged, and usually they're enlarged with excess water because there's a mineral imbalance there. So I would look at your electrolytes and figure out where the imbalance is. What's your favorite carry pistol? I like a 280. I think it's the name of it. 280. Yeah, something 80. I don't know. I'm losing it. What are we, hour and a half? This is usually when I start losing it in the podcast, unless I'm megadosing coffee. Is it 180 or 280 ACP? I think that's what it's called. Hopefully this brings me back to life. You guys keep going here. All right. Jojo says, thanks, Matt, for all the good vibes. Pro-metabolic lifestyle's been feeling great. Trying to lower my total cholesterol and triglycerides down while keeping my HDL high. Postgenetic with my high HDL. Yeah, I mean, I've heard, I think it was Adam Bergstrom that said the whole LDL, HDL thing, or is Morley and Adam Bergstrom have really interesting things to say about HDL, high density lipoprotein, low density lipoprotein. And I think what's important to realize is these are antioxidants, and that they are the precursor to basically our hormones. So again, we're back to conversions, and I think working on minerals helps with Shilajit. Potassium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, sea salt, just generally getting those conversions optimally functioning is the key. But yeah, I think it was the recent podcast I just recorded with Josh Rubin. I mentioned this girl that reached out to me that was scared to death by her doctor because her doctor said, I've never seen cholesterol this high. You have to get on statins right away. And she DM'd me all scared, and she's like, my whole family wants me on it. And I'm like, it seems like she was going to do it. So I'm just like, well, here's a Weston A. Price article on the dangers of statins. Show your family I support you no matter what, right? And then she came back, it's like, I'm not going to get on the statins. It's not worth the risk of, heart disease and muscular deterioration and all sorts of things that come along with statins. So, yeah, Dr. Cassinger, one of my podcasts, I think it was the first episode with him, he had a good point. He said that myocardial infarctions, like heart attacks and cardiovascular events, are increased with low cholesterol. Because that's the opposite of what they tell you, right? They say that, with high cholesterol, your risk of heart disease goes up. No, it's actually low cholesterol. And I think when you add PUFAs to the mix and lipofuscin and vitamin E deficiency, I mean, that's really what I focus on for the heart. It's like, what are nutrients for the heart that most people need? It's magnesium, which allows the heart to beat. It's vitamin E, which prevents lipofuscin accumulation, may even help existing lipofuscin that's already there. And it's vitamin K2, which will activate proteins like matrix GLA protein and osteocalcin to escort calcium out of like the arteries and put it back where it should be. So yeah, I mean, that's why I try to simplify it and bring it back to the CLF protocol, because it's like you plug these things in and it's like boom, boom, now everything is just flowing and converting and going where it should be. K2 deficiency is huge. I mean, with cholesterol issues, that could be a big one. A, D, E, and K, the liver, right? There's our fat soluble vitamins stored in the liver. What are the ones that people are usually missing? Some people would say all of them. I would say E and K. And if someone was a vegan or vegetarian, then yeah, retinol, right? But if you just do beef liver and then you supplement E and K, you're really fortifying a lot of systems in your body, especially with your hormones. Bone broth can be shipped and doesn't use marrow bones. I'm using Belcampo now, but I haven't heard back on how they make it. I listened to your podcast with Kate Deering and she mentioned it. Yeah, I like Maui Nui. It's the one I'm currently doing. It's like venison broth. Is the whole biological clock thing women use with men partially a myth? Biological clock. Chris, you'd have to elaborate on that. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Biological clock thing. Oh, I think I know what you mean, if I had to guess. Like fertility window, like after a certain age. Absolutely, if that's what you're talking about, Chris. Women can have babies at whatever age. And I know a lot of women get scared and might even get angry at me for saying that. But it's a fact. There's tons of accounts of women having children, in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And I think where people might get scared is it's like, well, I won't live long enough to see the grandchildren. BS. That 120 years old chronological age thing that they beat into your brain is complete BS. You should be able to live a lot longer than that. You know why everyone's croaking by 120? It's calcification, lipofuscin, and fibrosis. You got water, you got food, you got clean air, right? You got all three of those things. You're going to break 120 for sure. Most people don't, right? And they might think they have clean water because they're drinking Kangen or something, or they have clean air. Or it's like, it's easy to live longer, and I don't think there's a rush, right? So to have kids, and yeah, that's, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to get philosophical again. Let's keep going with the questions here. Is hypopigmentation and white spots also lipofuscin? It could be. It's not necessarily always. Yana, send me a message on Instagram. Yeah. Send me a message on Instagram. And we'll chat. Do you have a video with what time of day to take all the different supplements? Yes. If you go to Matt Blackburn YouTube, just this YouTube channel, I have a video, I think it was like early last year, like April, March or something. It was about when and how to take them. I think it's like 15, 20 minutes long. Feeling cold all the time. Any tips to warm up the body? Animal protein and sugar. So I had a steak before I started recording. I think it was a half pound. And what I find is steak and, maple syrup, honey works for me. Healthy root beer, not Virgil's. It's like even better than Virgil's. But, cane sugar works for me because I don't have access to fruit up here. So I kind of use that method. But make sure that you're getting sufficient carbohydrates. And I had bone broth today. I had like 25 ounces so far. So, bone broth, steak or animal protein, carbohydrate. What I notice is when I eat a steak, my hands warm up and my whole body warms up. And people ask, Matt, how can you be shirtless, walking around in the snow, or it looks so cold there? For one thing, I have a fire, but also I keep my metabolism up by not restricting sugar or animal protein. Usually people are restricting one or the other, right? You're either carnivore and anti-sugar, or you're fruitarian and raw vegan and anti-protein, not protein deficient. So it's like, again, not a lot of people in balance, right? On any level. Have you seen any good ET documentaries recently? I bet your questions are awesome. So I just finished one yesterday. Bob Lazar was the name of it. It came out 2 years ago. It was okay. I like the soundtrack because I like weird music, and it kind of had like sci-fi music, but it was pretty slow. I mean, I'd say it's worth a watch, if you want to have movie night with your partner or whatever. I think it's better than most crap that they're showing nowadays, but it was like an hour and a half on YouTube movies, you can rent it. And the most interesting part was, I think, the last half hour. So supposedly this guy Bob Lazar worked in an area of Area 51 called S4 in the Nevada desert. And I know we're getting way off track of health here, but Mitch asked the question. And I've had a lot of weird experiences in my life. I've looked into this subject a lot. This is beyond ancient aliens. That's all BS for the most part. There's real stuff with this. And no, I don't think they're all benevolent, but no, I don't think they're all demons either. Okay, that context out of the way. This documentary, he basically saw a working flying saucer, basically a working anti-gravitic craft. And he said that the element that they used was a very specific element on the periodic table that was just recently added to it. I think it's 115. They actually didn't even have a name for it when he was working there. And this was in, I believe, 1986, 1 year before I was born. And specifically, this radioactive element actually is used. I think they basically activate it, and then he was saying it's imagine like putting a bowling ball on your bed on the mattress, and it caves in the front part, and the bowling ball rolls forward. Supposedly that's how these craft function, is they're actually warping space in front, and that's causing it to move. Another interesting thing that I never even thought of is, the stereotypical saucer with the little dome on top. He was saying they travel like this, so it's dome first, and when it gets to the place that's going to land, it actually points the dome towards whatever land. Which, yeah, I just thought it was traveling like this, but no, he said it's more like this when they're going through space. So interesting. I think there's a lot more to life than what we've been told, and that's part of why I got interested in health. I was trying to figure out back in 2006 what was going on in the world, and I was playing video games and taking an Aikido class, and my sensei instructor was sending me to watch these interesting documentaries, and he initiated this rabbit hole. If I never met my Aikido sensei, I wouldn't be doing this video right now, because he showed me that there was something more to life. Even though it was, an internet documentary, it led me down this path of wanting to know more. And yeah, just been trying to figure it out ever since. But I think nobody really knows what's going on, but fear is not the way to go about it. It's just, prepare, get your ducks in a row, move towards where you want to go, and be at peace with not knowing why things are the way they are and why things are so screwed up. But definitely defend yourself, defend your family, get your food security, your water security. These are priorities for sure. And it's fun to try to figure it out, right? Or at least somewhat. I like the books called Galactic Diplomacy by PhD Michael Salla. That is very accurate. And also the book called Gods of Eden by William Bramley. This is way beyond ancient alien stuff, like light years beyond. Yeah, a lot of, Bob Lazar said in the documentary, it's like there's so much, today's generation has so much misinformation to go through now to find the truth that it's ridiculous. and there's so many like traps, right? And I think it's like being, it's just respecting people where they're at. You know, I'm still working on it, but you know, if someone has a different belief than you or whatever, like you might not believe ETs are even real. You might think they're demons. That's fine. Still love you. You know, it's not a big deal. But don't, you know, get aggressive on me for thinking they're not all demons, because I've had positive experiences. Anyway, Mitch, that's your fault. Send me down that. Okay. TDS meter you recommend? Any. You know, eBay, they're like $8 to $10. They're all pretty much the same. Do you know anything about clearing up C. diff in someone who is severely immunocompromised? I would work with someone one-on-one, or you know, Josh Rubin's class is group coaching. If you haven't, I would do spore-based probiotics. Just do a month round of those. Yeah, there's various things you could do. I mean, I'm not opposed to antibiotics too. I think short term they could be beneficial, and they're not as, you know, as like permanent damage as the alternative health community will tell you. You know, they're strong, but they're not, you know, it's not like you should never use them. Looking for a brand of bread that doesn't use enriched flour or PUFA oils. There's one that follows me, Einkorn Bakery. I can't remember. There's a person that follows me that sells bread online. Yeah. Who? I think my friend Letitia Spizo or Cosma that I had on my show. One of them, I think, orders bread online, so check with them. Can you recommend any electric space heaters? No, I'm not too knowledgeable on that. Sorry, John. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with just the basic tower one with the plates, so I just looked for one like that. Chris says, you answered the biological question correctly, and the whole thing with what a normal period looks like. I've had women tell me everyone's different, and in disbelief of not having mood swings, pain. Yeah, it's, you know, a lot of it comes from like the plant-based community, where it's like vegan, vegetarian, you know, to ascend, you know, you have no libido and you lose your period. It's like, from what I've seen and heard, most vegan women, especially like raw, eating a ton of like greens and raw vegetables, have no libido and no cycle. That's like, that's a big problem. And it's crazy that people think that's normal. I said it in my last live on Instagram, actually didn't post, but no test required. Happy, hungry, horny, 3 H's. No blood test required. Again, happy, hungry, horny. That is the marker of health. And, you know, you don't have to like go crazy if you're horny, Burning Man style, like I was talking about earlier, and go nuts. No, it's just, it's a marker. It's to show you where you're at with your health, right? So, yeah, I think that's been lost somehow, especially the happy part. You know, a lot of people just get used to not being happy and just staying at their baseline in their relationship, and their partner's holding them down, or their job's holding them down. Like, I used to have like managers in retail that would just like talk down to me like all the time. And it's like, you got to quit that job, you know, like forget the money. Like, you got to get the heck out of there, right? Drive for Lyft, drive for Uber, just like be more on your own. Right. And that's a scary thought for a lot of people, but it's like, that is where personal development happens, when you're on your own, because you can't develop if someone's holding you down, right? It's like their foot's on your head. It's like you can't move, right? So, you know, because I've experienced it, and it's like you got to get out of there in whatever way possible. And with what I share about like the CLF protocol and animal foods and sugar, animal protein, the minerals, all these things, they allow you to problem solve. Because I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there, where you have a problem in your life and you're like, what the heck? This is unsolvable. I'm stuck. No, you're not. You're never stuck. You can always move in a direction. And if you're in that mindset that you're stuck and there's nowhere to go, then you have work to do, right? Maybe it's minerals. You have to get stronger. Maybe it's healing your metabolism. Maybe it's using tools, like breath work or new calm or whatever it is, meditation, guided meditation, whatever it is. You must get stronger to get out of that, like, I'm stuck state. Because I was just talking to Josh and Jeannie in my podcast, and you might think there's only two parts of the nervous system, right? There's fight or flight, and then there's rest and digest, right? There's parasympathetic, and then there's sympathetic. But no, there's a third state, which is called the freeze state. And that's what reptiles are in, right? When you see a lizard, it just freezes, right? It's the paralyzed state. It's the immobilization state. It's doing nothing state. That's a lot deeper than fight or flight. That's when you've been experiencing fight or flight chronically. And then you get stuck in like a freeze state and you do nothing. That's worse than sympathetic. Doesn't mean you can't heal. It's just, whoa, this is where I'm at. Right? That's like an important piece to know. Right? And in the midst of a lot of people most people are not in fight or flight. They're in that freeze state. And then they're keto, they're 1 meal a day, they're intermittent fasting, they're anti-sugar, they're anti-gluten, they're anti-dairy. All the things that will help, just freaking eat. Even if it's pasta, even if it's whole wheat pasta, eat something, right? Because you have to eat to have energy. You need energy to get out of that immobilization state. So, yeah, some of you guys might not have known that. Hopefully it's inspirational to some degree, but yeah, doing something is better than doing nothing, right? All right, that's it for the pep talk. What are we at? Hour and 45 minutes. I guess we'll end it. Thank you guys for joining the live. The last video of the month will be posted, I think today or tomorrow. It's the Grow a Pair protocol. And I could probably add some stuff to it after I shot the video. I'm like, shoot, I forgot to say this and that. But at least it's something. And maybe I'll do like a get some protocol, for like a different aspect of that. But this is just like more of a hormonal thing, just a boost. John Benner, it's organic bread of heaven. Oh, thanks, Yana. Cool. I knew someone knew it in here. Yeah, there's all sorts of online companies, but that one looks pretty good. And sometimes you can find like local sourdough. That's ideal. If you can find that, that's the best way to go. But usually you have to be more rural for that. So again, thank you guys so much just for, paying for this academy and buying Mitolife products. And even if you don't buy the Mitolife products, just for, this listening and being on the journey with me. And let's keep going, because it's a fun ride, and we're learning together. And I think of you guys as geniuses, and I love your questions. And if you figure something out, please send it to me and I'll integrate it. And just this year, just don't, closing thought, I guess, is just don't be so serious, right? Like, strengthen your nervous system, snack, eat frequently, just lower your stress, because in that, you can't problem solve when you're in a high cortisol state or in a freeze state. So find a way to get to that stillness, that inner peace, Usually sugar and animal protein help because usually that's the missing piece for a lot of people. And if you're not hungry, do anything. Fruit and bone broth, something, anything. And if you're going to leave the house, please bring water with you, and bring fruit jerky with you, and bring venison jerky, beef jerky. Bring snacks with you. Do not put yourself in a state where you don't have food and you don't have water. Okay, I work from home. I'm very fortunate. I'm just by the fridge all the time. But if you're in your car, you're on the go, prepare. Even if it's fruit jerky, I like solely fruit, the mango and the pineapple jerky. And I like the Maui Nui jerky, or just any kind of clean dried meat. Or you can make your own pemmican if you want to go crazy. And yeah, just you'll get to that state of being able to problem solve, seemingly unsurmountable problems in your life. That would be cool to have a protocol to get laid. Chris, that's funny. I think the most attractive thing to women is men that have a purpose in their life, that are creating something and that are helping people. I think the best women are the ones that are attracted to men that they know genuinely want to help people. Because there's enough parasitic people out there, especially men, that are just money first, helping people second, I just want to, that's why I put out a ton of free info, right? It's like my podcast, my Instagram stories. I try to make most of my stuff free because I want, when I started this, I was driving Uber and Lyft. I was demoing at Costco, at Whole Foods, different products. I was at the same time going to health conferences and networking with people in the community at the health food co-op. And it was a lot of working my ass off just for years and learning and doing the work to get to here. Because people say oh, Matt, your life's so cushy. It's like you're in a spaceship and you have your cat and you have your goats and you have your chickens and you have a house and you're in Idaho. And it's 11 years, they didn't see all the stuff that got me here. Just a lot of stuff happened since then. And it was really rough. But you just work through it and you just go a certain direction. And if you want a homestead, just keep working at it and you will get there. And a lot of it is just getting this noggin functioning. Shilajit was a huge part of my journey. Before I came out with this Panacea product, I was slamming Pristine Hydro's Shilajit powder. And I believe that it truly acted like the red pill in the Matrix to snap me out of it. Because that's, people forget that if your neurons can't get oxygen, it's terminal electron acceptor. Right? That oxygen is what pulls electrons across the electron transport chain to make adenosine triphosphate. If you can't get oxygen to the cell, to the mitochondria, that's an issue, right? You can't think, right? You don't have energy to think. And, minerals allow enzymes to work and everything's kind of connected. So that's why I created the CLF protocol, to just kind of make it as simple as possible for people. But, you can't not supplement and move forward from what I've personally experienced in my life. Because I tried it and, everything's suboptimal. Acid rain, NPK fertilizer, tap water, we're up against a lot. So, we have the tools though. So, all right, I'm ranting, so I better end this. John says, hope you get some of that goat milk. Thanks, Matt. Have a great weekend. You too, Mitch. My girls love that fruit jerky. I'll have to try giving that to my chickens. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Great questions. And I'll probably do next month's live in February, middle of the month, most likely. So, message me or comment videos that you want me to make for the Academy. But have an awesome weekend, everybody. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.